In chapter 23, it covers in detail the extremely important subject of the sanctuary, and we see the difference between the earthly and heavenly sanctuaries, and how in the sanctuary there are different compartments, the holy and most holy place, and how these illustrate the plan of salvation. As we continue this journey through this fascinating book, The Great Controversy, we see how the war between good and evil involves every single one of us. This book, and especially this chapter, with its deep theological and prophetic insights, has the power to change your present and give you a clearer meaning in life. As the believers in 1844 studied in detail Daniel chapter 8:14, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. They looked at when this period began and when it ended, and they were sure. The 70-week prophecy of Daniel chapter 9, which formed the beginning of the 2,300 day or year prophecy, was set in stone. The date for the decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem was 457 BC. The date for Jesus' baptism was AD 27 and his crucifixion AD 31. All these had been unquestionably fulfilled, meaning the end date of 1844 was widely accepted. After Jesus did not come in 1844, many people abandoned their faith either partially or completely, but there were some who did not, and rather than set new dates for the sanctuary, they decided to re-examine the whole subject. In so doing, they realized that the earth was not the sanctuary, but that the sanctuary on earth had been built after the pattern of a pre-existing one, as mentioned in Hebrews 9 and Exodus 25 and verse 8. There was a sanctuary in heaven that formed the master pattern, as mentioned in Exodus, as mentioned in Hebrews, and John in vision also saw this. This sanctuary is the sanctuary of the new covenant, and everything in it has symbolic meaning. The sanctuary on earth was a copy, and thus we get a glimpse into the mind of God and how complex terms like justice, mercy, justification, sanctification, intercession, and cleansing play out. It's often said that a picture tells 1,000 words, and the sanctuary is like a picture of salvation. And there are 3 compartments to it. The outer court with the altar of sacrifice and the laver, then the holy place with the table of showbread, the 7-branch candlestick, and the altar of incense, and then the most holy place with the Ark of the Covenant. Each compartment of the sanctuary had corresponding services that went along with it. Into the holy place, the priest would come on a daily basis, bringing the blood from the sin offering. Into the most holy place, they would only go once a year on the Day of Atonement, when the record of all the sins from the previous year will be cleansed, wiped out, and put onto the scapegoat. On the Day of Atonement, all the sins will be completely erased from the previous year. This took place in the earthly sanctuary, and it stands to reason that it would take place in the heavenly sanctuary as well. The Bible says that without the shedding of blood, there can be no remission of sin. In the earthly sanctuary, this took place with the blood of animals, but in the heavenly sanctuary, it takes place with Jesus' blood. From Jesus' ascension up until 1844, he performed this work of intercession for man in the holy place. But after 1844, he moved into the most holy place to begin the work of cleansing. However, before the cleansing can take place, a period of investigation needs to occur, which is where we get the phrase, the investigative judgment, from. Today we're living during a time when Jesus will look to see who has completely surrendered their lives to him, who has allowed his blood to cover their lives, and who is walking with him daily. At the end of the investigative judgment, the sins of humanity will be placed on Satan, who is the real scapegoat, something that we will cover on more later on. I pray that you and I have Jesus' righteousness cover us, and then when he looks at us, he does not see our filthy rags, but he sees Jesus' robe of righteousness.